thing I want to do before the weekend is get at this engine bay here and clean things up a little bit. So my last motor, it blew up like really fast, and the one before that I've been blowing head gaskets and all this crap. So I kind of got to the point where I didn't really care what it looked like in here anymore. I was just more focused on just trying to get it to stay together. But obviously all that over time, I mean, the turbo's not painted, soot everywhere, soot on the firewall. The Manny's freaking not really much I could do about that to bring it back to life unless I send it out and get it coated, but at least get all these pipes. I want to paint the pipes the same color that I did the ladder bars. This thing never even got painted. Take the Velcros off, touch them up. But just stuff like that, maybe tuck some of the wires around and all that. It's just been kind of thrown together here and there, so just want to work on tidying that up real quick. Alright, so working on getting things cleaned up under here. We can kind of do like a little hack job, paint job on some of the stuff. Just put some cloths over the Manny and touched up these lines on top because I didn't want to dump coolant everywhere. Wiped all this down, got all the Duramax off of it for the most part. We got all of our, or both I should say, intercooler pipes off, turbo cover, all that stuff, all the boots, things laying on the ground. We got them all painted up over here. This is all same hammered paint that I used on the traction bars. I was looking at having this done with powder coating at some point, which I mean I still probably end up doing, but good luck sending anything out right now to powder coat and getting it back in a reasonable amount of time. We painted our clamps black. I don't really know how any of this paint's gonna hold up to the heat. It might not hold up at all, we'll see, but hopefully it'll at least look good for this weekend. But I can't wait to get all that stuff back on every morning and see what she's gonna look like. Oh, dang it! Roll. Next day, just came out here to check out all the things. This stuff came out absolutely minty. So we're gonna get that slab back on right now. Got one on there already. Hopefully everything all in there should look pretty cool together, but just went to the stove, stocked up on some things. Got some paint, because we need to finish that pipe over there in the corner. Unreal, one pipe left, ran out of paint, for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna slap this bad boy together and see what it looks like. Okay, just got it all back together and it's freaking super humid outside. I'm like soaked, it's disgusting. But it's looking quite a bit better in here. Really like the way the color came out. It's just regular paint, it's obviously not gonna hold up forever. But the plan is to use the same color and actually end up having it powder coated eventually. But we also need to send that Manny out this winter too and have that re-Cerakoted because all the finish is wearing off, it's really rusty, it looks ugly. But last thing I think I might do in here is try to find some heat wrap for that exhaust pipe. And looking pretty decent. This Matt just came over, came in clutch with some minty heat wrappage. Got my super hacked up hood stack deal covered up finally. Makes it look 10 times better in there. Even though I have the greatest welds there is, still looks a little better. But hopefully I got that wrapped good enough on there. We're gonna find out when it starts falling off and the turbo starts sucking it in. Turbo sucks in everything, it's known for it. plans went south on going out to Rocky Top. People bailed on me and I don't want to swing the whole thing by myself. And a 12-hour drive is just a long time to do by yourself. So still making the best of the day. We got Cordell, Kyle over there. Blake and Matt are meeting us on the track. We're gonna go out for some tests too and see if we can make some passes. I want to try to launch this a little harder and hopefully not break it. And see if I can get down to the low 11s. I don't think I'll get exact numbers I want without doing a gear change, but see what we can make out of it. Alright, so we made it here to the racetrack. All tucked in. Got Blake, Kyle, Matt, Cordell, 2-wheel time bomb. Not going very good so far. We're getting on our second oil down already, not from us, but other people. And the stage lanes are super long, so it seems like we're gonna get lucky, even get 1 or 2 passes in. Hope for the best. So we all just made our first passes. I launched at 20 pounds and I made 1.760 and 11.4 quarter. Matthew, what are you running?
12.3 because I only loved it like 8.5 pounds. So
Matt needs to launch harder.
I did
160 foot? 1.9?
Yeah.
So Matt's got to be like mid 11. He needs like 30 pounds of launching action.
Exploded the motor.
I'm just backing out right now and driving it home, or if we just keep breaking it. What you did, Blake?
12.07, leaving at 4.5 pounds. So we'll try 8 pounds, see what happens. Doing 117 though, so that's the same mile an hour you had is 11.4, so there's more there.
That's true, you would freaking chase me down pretty much. My friends are a bad influence, but they ain't at the center again. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I messed up a little bit on my first to second shift, maybe even my second to third, I'm not sure, but I was a little late for sure on the first to second. I could have gotten to second a little sooner. But it kind of caught me off guard because I wasn't used to it actually accelerating that fast in the 60 because usually I leave really bad. So I'm thinking I'll leave maybe a couple more pounds of boost and then try to get a little better shifts and see what she does. Hopefully she survives another one. made another pass, you know, they didn't want to. It was acting really funny in the staging lanes. Didn't like want to go past 18, 20 pounds, so. A 1.660 foot that time. Please hold. So we got the 1.6 we were looking for, and it put us at a 11.3, which is like super pumped about. Kyle shaved off 6/10 from last year. He ran what'd you say, 12.2? 12.3? No,
13 to a 13.2.
13.8 to a 13.2, which is 60 foot. Still trying to figure out why that thing won't let him build over like 10 pounds of boost on the line.
195.
1.9. So
You can go through there if you want.
then Blake, but just ran his best for the new setup.
Did 11.75 at 118. Finally got the 60 foot down to a 1.9.
Dude, look, 118.
Yeah, what is it?
We're saming.
No, dude.
So I'm only a tenth slower than the fastest pass I've ever made. And we're leaving at a 1.9 60 foot two-wheel drive.
So you just launched at, you say
Launched at
7?
7 pounds.
Great night at the track again. Didn't bring a trailer. It's always sketchy, and every truck's driving home. We've been getting really lucky with this lately. It's freaking absolutely unreal. Everybody just ran their best time.
Yeah, right in a row.
Cornell broke into the 16s. The old stock LD7. But just totally minty. Driving home too. Okay, so it's a couple days later since we've been to the track, and on the way home from the track, she was pretty low on coolant. I kind of ran a little hot the whole way home. Not like super overheating, but like 210, 220 degrees. But that's obviously pretty hot for something that's supposed to run 160 to 180, somewhere in there. But what it's been doing is it's just been pouring coolant out of the overflow on the expansion jug there. And it just keeps filling up. And it's weird because when you drive it, it doesn't do it. But then when it sits, it just starts puking it out of the overflow. So I don't really have high hopes for it not being the head or the head gasket. But I'm going to do a retorque on the head. And I'm gonna try to do it with thermostat and stuff. And I also have a bigger expansion tank coming because that one we have in here is very small. So I have one that's like 2.5 liters or something like that. So I shouldn't need any more than that. It's bigger than the factory one. But ever since way back when I had the compound build, this is still that original head. I've always had issues with it doing the same thing, pushing coolant. The first time was most likely because we had over 100 pounds of boost with those compounds with 425s for head studs, probably just lifting the head a little bit. But when I sent out the head beam machine and checked over for this build, when I ended up redoing it all, like I said, there was some cracks between the valves. So I'm guessing it's probably cracked somewhere. We're getting some pressure there, or maybe it just needs to be retorqued again, or maybe the head gets just straight up blown. But I'm gonna see if we can just change those few things that I said and try to get it through the rest of the season, and then try to do a head. If not, then maybe we'll end up doing a head sooner than later. But this time around for a head, we're gonna go 425 head studs or something comparable to them. I gotta do some research. I know there's a couple other brands out there that supposedly are just as good. And I'm also gonna go with probably either, I'm pretty sure Power Driven gets their heads from Hamilton, but it's either gonna be a Power Driven or a Hamilton. And still gonna be just a regular intake. We're not gonna do a side draft or anything. I don't really see any reason to. But I just wanna start fresh this time and just have a head that we know is good, no cracks, no nothing. These heads are so old and they're known for cracking. It's just like something I've been frustrated with since day one of making this truck like a higher horsepower 12 valve, and just ready to be done with it. So if we do that stuff and it doesn't fix our issue, then we're on our way to a new head. And me and Blake went up to local scrapyard and had it weighed and beat on like maybe one or two pulls, and by the time we got back it was already running hot. But the scale was pretty good news. We weighed it in at 5,840 pounds with me in it, so it's about 57, like 5,700, 5,650, somewhere in there. So it's pretty light for what it is, especially having two subwoofers and freaking this thick of sound deadener everywhere in there. So we're pretty happy with the weight. So this morning some parts just came in. We got our bigger coolant expansion tank. This one actually has a cap that pressurizes. I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of, but it's got it. So look at the size difference on those. I don't remember what this one's supposed to be. I think it's like a quart, but this one's supposed to be 2 liters. Whatever that is in quarts. It's not crazy big, but it should be plenty enough for overflow. I mean, if it's pushing out more than that, then there's obviously something wrong. But don't really have super high hopes for it not being a cracked head or a head gasket. I changed that thermostat, so I drove it around a little bit. It didn't overheat or puke out any coolant, but it's just endlessly bubbling out of that overflow. The only way that I could possibly see that it's constantly making more air would be cylinder pressure. But I guess we'll throw that new tank on and do a retorque and hope for the best, see if we can limp it along. Hopefully. Hopefully, because I don't want it to be down for the year, but unreal. So, we got our new coolant tank mounted up right there, all sturdy and such. Got an overflow tube that comes down and goes this way. I'm not really a huge fan of how it sticks that way. I wish it was this way, but you only get so many options when you're dealing with eBay here. So, got it hooked up down the bottom, right up to the radiator. Maybe we just went through and did a retorque on this. We got them to move a little bit, so all the valve lash still wasn't checked, so we're good to go with that. So, probably gonna start up a little rough though, since I had to take all the lines off, so it could be interesting. Getting through tech, and the guy was being like a real stickler about stuff, so it's not like the tech we normally go to. The other tech's pretty lenient about stuff, but this other guy was getting way too into it, checking everything and saying that he needs a roll bar and all this stuff, so says I can't run faster than 8.6, so I think I'm gonna end up running the fastest that I can and pretty much get kicked out at that point. Same with this guy and him. This truck right here is the one that we haven't seen running. Last time we had the track, converted to and he wasn't able to spool the turbo. It's got T6 476 on it, so it takes quite a bit to get it to spool up. But pretty curious to see what it's going to do. In theory, it should have the power for 10s, but so it should be either 7 flat or in the 6s for his 8th. So he was told that he wasn't allowed to run faster than a 7.5 without a roll bar, so definitely gonna get kicked out for sure. All right, so I'm back here on the iPhone and the gimbal. Tanya, fiance, is way up there. Try to get a couple different angles here. Oh yeah, baby! 730, 94, we're getting there. I thought you did a freaking burnout. I could have sworn it looked like it from here.
I'm on the right. When I launched, that whole thing was just like went to the side.
What'd you launch at? 15?
About 15. It was like 14.
It still did that?
I bumped the light a little too quick.
It's freaking 6.7s in a
7.3 though.
That's 7.3's mint.
At 95 though.
But look at your 60. You went down to a 1.7. If you can cut a 1, dude, if you stop spinning, it'll be a 1.6.
I can run it. You know I can get a 10, hopefully a 10, 9, 11 out of it.
527 is his time.
Wait a minute. But if I didn't spin, dude, I would definitely
You'd be 1.6. I guess launch even lighter. That's crazy. You're still spinning. You're driving through the water box, though,
You
right?
can't go around it. There's no way around it. I tried to go wide. You can't.
Such a pain in the ass.
Silly.
Were you silly? What you got?
Terrible.
Terrible.
What's your 60?
2.11.
2.1?
2.1.
Hot.
I don't know.
8.7 though. That's what you ran last time too, isn't it?
Yeah.
You ran it 8.7 or 8.8 last round? 8.7, I think.
Very fast on that. 8.6.
Yeah, you picked up a little bit. I wonder why. Is the truck getting hot? Okay.
I don't think so.
Big old burnout again. GoPro's out of space, so I'm finishing out the video on my phone. That wraps up tonight. The best pass I was able to get. I only made one, but it was the 733, which that kind of sucks. My best was a 725, but it's whatever. It's tough with that truck. It's a difference in a pound of boost, a difference in a different RPM and shift, stuff like that. It all adds up when you get to the end of the track. But well, I think finally. I think the trans might have had enough. So it seems like second gears get a little sloppy. She got first, third, and overdrive though, so. Driving home, freaking hopefully we can get it out and get it fixed in time for this weekend. Otherwise, freaking down for the count. But luckily it'll be cheap. It should just be a clutch rebuild and everything, something like that. But it's about time for something to go wrong. So I did get out a couple more times there before we got home, just to make sure that she was really toasted. I wanted to make sure there was no clutch material left. So she's freaking good to go now. Head gasket's doing some stuff here, you can hear it. So, I mean, things just falling apart, but I'm gonna try to limp it along. I said till next season we'll do something with the head, but hopefully we get the trans out and get it back in for this weekend. But pretty low hopes that you can get it done that quick. But all right, it's the next day. Unfortunately, I'm on the phone again because something's going on with the GoPro. It's being ridiculously dumb. But I got this thing up on our super mint redneck jack stands. And yeah, got all my tools laid out here. Hopefully I can get one of my buddies to stop by here at some point so I don't drop this thing on my head to help me. But I'm gonna get under there, start disconnecting stuff. It's easy because I've gotten rid of so much of the factory stuff, but I've also put some things in the way, like a new cross members there, or a new traction bars. Those block all my bolts for my cross member, so those gotta come off to get the cross member down. But yeah, see how fast I can get this thing done. What time is it? What time is it? Yeah, I don't know. It's about 3:30. So, see how fast I can get this bad boy down. All right. Not too shabby. What we got here? 4:37. Just over an hour on that bad boy. Nobody even came over. I had to do it by myself. Unreal. Usually I do everything by myself. But drain the fluid. It actually didn't look too bad, which is kind of weird. But there was definitely some good material on the magnet on the drain pan. But look at this thing. This thing's grody. Whew. What a POS. Freaking just oil everywhere. It's a mess under there. But I didn't even notice this before. Freaking extreme clutch. Freaking sick, dude. Extreme. But, freaking fiance was super nice and brought the front drive shaft up to the drive shaft shop for us so we can get it in today. They were going to close in like an hour, so she took off and ran that up there for me. We're doing everything we can to try to get this thing ready for dirt drags this weekend. But that front drive shaft was shot. I didn't even have time to take a video quick. Both back U-joints had a little bit of slop in them. And the front one of the caps, like all the needles were just shattered. And the one actually had like a chunk tape on the corner, but it was weird because all the other caps were fine. But regardless of the fact, we didn't want to be launching out anymore, so that's getting sent out to get fixed up. But so that's where we stand. If I don't put a video up this weekend, that means we didn't make it. All right, so I got the super grody, nasty clothes on from pulling training out yesterday. It's actually the next night because our training guy is super clutch and already got this bad boy back. So we gotta get her tossed in there so we can take it to the track tomorrow night again and break it again. Nice. So training's in. I don't even know how long it took us. Probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere in there. I don't even know. But super nice and dirty. Man, these clothes are going in the garbage. But we got everything all buttoned up under here. Oh yeah. Look at that junk. Only we don't have under there is the front drive shaft because it was hammered and it's at the drive shaft shop. So I'm gonna get this thing off these sick redneck jack stands. And get her on the ground and get her filled up with fluid. Mint. Alright, peoples, got it all wrapped up. Freaking got her topped off on fluid. Shipping linkage is all lined up. Everything's looking good there. Not going to get it up tonight because the neighbors will probably be super mad. But we do have ourselves a runner. So last thing to do is drive it around tomorrow. And then I'm thinking tomorrow night we're going to end up going to Empire, our local dragway. It's a quarter mile. I don't know if I'm going to compete or not because fresh trans and secret stuff. But yeah, we'll at least go out and see Matt, Blake, and Kyle, and Cordell, and all those guys can lay down. So maybe we'll even get John to go again with a sick white truck, dude. Sick. But yeah, minty. Super awesome turnaround time from our local tranny guy. Basically dropped it off one last night, picked up tonight. The guy's freaking awesome. Phenomenal work from him. Always gets us a good turnaround time. Always fair on pricing. The dude's just absolutely awesome. If you are from our area, which those of you that know where we are, you know where we are. I believe his company's called Cummins Turbo Diesel Enterprises. So if you guys need any tranny work, whether it's Dodge, Ford, Chevy, anything, he's got you freaking covered. Good prices, and he's a super honest dude. Super good to deal with. But I guess tomorrow will be the yeah. But freaking got ourselves an air intake on this thing finally too. After years of sucking stuff in, finally got ourselves a nice little setup there. And these freaking power-driven air filters, like, they look pretty mint on the freaking line. Like, they look mint on their website. Sick filter. But, like, when I opened up the package, I was like, dang, this thing's way nicer than I thought it was going to be. I didn't want to put it on my truck. It's going to ruin it. But can't wait to drive it tomorrow and see what she's going to do. Hopefully we'll go out and do some rollies. So, we're back at Empire again, doing some more quarter mile. We got John here, Blake, Cordell, and Matt. And it looks like it's pretty packed here. Lots of stuff going on. We're able to get the tranny back together and drove it here, and it seems to be alright. Shift's like 10 times better. It must have been hurting for a little while. I'm willing to bet if I race it, pick up some time, but I don't think I'm going to race it. I don't think I want to break it, but we'll see. We got the front drive shaft back today too, so freaking fixed within like a day. It's pretty fast. Oh my god! Oh. Go. Oh, looking good, looking good. Here comes flip mode. Could be a soup though.
That's what I ran.
Dude, you guys are